timing blood work when tracking your cycle, because you or your clients might be left very confused and even concerned by the results if you're not doing this. So if you've been told to test blood work between days 18 and 25, that is a general guideline. And while it's not wrong, it's also not specific to you or your client, depending on the cycle length. It could actually mean that you're missing the mark entirely, and depending on what you're actually assessing. So for example, if a client has a 27-day cycle and runs labs on day 25, thinking that they're assessing post-ovulation levels of progesterone, they're likely not capturing what they need. Why is that? Because estrogen and progesterone can start declining 3 to 5 days prior to menstruation beginning. In fact, they will eventually, depending on 3 to 5. So that the test could actually catch levels on their way down as opposed to up on their peak. A couple other things I will go ahead and say right now is you're probably saying, oh, well, a 21-day cycle, is that normal? Normal. 35-day cycle, is that normal? Also can be normal. That is why tracking your cycle matters when planning lab work. Also, one thing that I will mention now is the myth that ovulation happens on day 14 for every female and every female every month, the same time every month. Not the case. Actually, ovulation can be anywhere between day 6 and day 21, depending on the female, depending on illness, travel, training, food, like all the things. So if you're running lab work to assess post-ovulation progesterone levels, do not default to days 18 to 25 without first tracking your cycle length and perhaps doing some things to start assessing ovulation. Now, we do have a menstrual cycle checklist that is available in my link in my bio, as well as a webinar that goes into a lot of detail on this available at our website. Last thing I will say is we do the best we can, and sometimes we might miss the timing. This is where communication with your provider, your coach, your dietitian matters. It doesn't mean that we throw our hands up and we say these labs don't count, they don't matter. It just will it will matter in the evaluation of labs. So for example, as opposed to us calling a state of emergency that there's something wrong, by having information, we can then look at the labs and say, hey girl, you know what? I think that you're likely were getting ready to start your cycle if you didn't already start because of what I'm seeing here. And so this is where communication can also eliminate fear. Hope this helps.